and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome to my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2020 video. How's this video gonna go? Very simply, it's going to be a top 10. So I'm going to count down my most anticipated films of 2020 from 10 all the way to number 1, which will be my most anticipated. Now there are a lot of films that are coming out in 2020, probably a ton that aren't even announced yet. And as it is only a top 10, I can't fit every movie on here. I'm sure my list is going to be radically different to yours. Film is subjective, everyone has different tastes, and this is just my personal list. Now before we kick off my top 10, I just wanted to relay some honorable mentions to you, and these are just movies that I'm still very excited for and I think you should keep an eye on, but didn't quite crack the list. And those are The Eternals, Free Guy, Soul, and Black Widow. Coming in at number 10 is Godzilla vs. King Kong. Okay, who's not excited for this one? Seriously, I mean, even a little bit, even if it's just like guilty pleasure excited, it's the two biggest and most recognizable monsters in monster movie history, and they are going to clash on the big screen in all of their CGI glory. Sure, this already happened, but that was just guys in suits, and yeah, the less we say about that, the better, okay? I know it has its fans, but I'm not one of them. Sure, this movie has been plagued with issues, it was delayed, it was rumored that it might not even make it to the big screen, that it might have been cancelled altogether due to the middling performance and reviews for Godzilla, King of the Monsters, but we have had our first few glimpses. The movie is in good hands with director Adam Wingard, and in my mind, it's really tough to somehow mess this up. I mean, even if the movie was a half an hour long and it was just straight half an hour of Godzilla and King Kong duking it out, I would be perfectly okay with that. They just have to try and stay away from the issues that have plagued the last 3 movies in this Monsterverse, and that is, don't give us terribly awful, poorly written human characters. If you're gonna have them in there, which obviously they're going to, just make them relatively interesting and give them a purpose in the film. That's all I ask, okay? That's all I'm asking. Coming in at number 9 is Wonder Woman 1984. I'm so stoked for this movie. It looks great so far. Does it feel reminiscent to sort of Thor Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy? Sure. But I love those movies, and I love the first Wonder Woman, so I don't see an issue here. Patty Jenkins came back, Gal Gadot is back, Chris Pine is back. I'm going to need a really good explanation as to why he is back, because it frustrates me when comic book characters just don't stay dead, because it gives their death in whatever film they died in no meaning whatsoever. Like, all the emotion is just sucked out of it when you go back and watch that death. So please just give me a good reason as to why he's back. Kristen Wiig as Cheetah was a great casting choice, and I hope that she actually becomes a full Cheetah woman hybrid and not just in Cheetah print. Granted, all the pieces are there. Wonder Woman has been one of the strongest parts in the DCEU so far, the movie and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman herself. I have high expectations for this movie, but with what I'm hearing and seeing so far, I really feel like I have nothing to worry about, and this is going to be great. Coming in at number 8, Halloween Kills, and God, that name is still so bad. Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. Could there be worse possible titles? Okay, titles aside, Halloween 2018 is one of my personal favorite horror movies in the last decade or more, maybe even of all time. Honestly, I was a huge fan of it. I loved that movie. It was one of my favorite of that year. I think it's great, and if they basically just do the same thing again, I'm okay with that. I did feel as though that should have been the end. You know, they had the whole thing like 40 years later, it's all come to this, the big lead up, the big payoff, and it seemed like it should have been over. Of course it's not. They announced 2 sequels, so again, just like Chris Pine in the last entry, you really need to justify to me why these 2 movies exist. But nevertheless, I am still excited. You have David Gordon Green coming back, Danny McBride coming back to produce and write. All the pieces are there for a great Halloween film and a great Halloween sequel. Let's hope that they pull it off. Coming in at number 7 is The King's Man. This movie just looks great. I'm a big fan of both previous Kingsman films. Yes, even The Golden Circle I do really enjoy. And this movie looks vastly different. It looks like it still kind of has the style and the same quick editing and cuts for fighting, but it still looks like it's really trying to separate itself apart from those previous two films. Set during the First World War, it is essentially chronicling the origin story of the Kingsmen. I don't really have much else to say about this movie. The cast looks great, the action looks great, the cinematography looks beautiful, and I am interested and very intrigued to see how the Kingsmen came to be. Coming in at number 6 is Top Gun: Maverick. I feel like I've been saying this for every entry, but I am both thrilled and apprehensive about this one. It's been so long since the original, and they have to justify. Is there a synonym for justify? I don't know, but they have to justify its reason for existing. Why wait so long and then give this to us now, aside from just being a cash grab? In order to be good, the main thing that it needs to accomplish is it has to prove that it deserves to exist. Granted, this movie looks spectacular. I mean, it essentially looks like Top Gun if it were made today, but Top Gun is great, and today is pretty great. At least the film industry. The film industry today is pretty great. It seems like the formula for success is right there in their hands, and the first couple of trailers have been very promising. Coming in at number 5 is Onward. Okay, I'm a total schmuck for Pixar movies. We all are, okay? Let's be truthful here. Who doesn't love a good Pixar movie? The trailer alone already had me in tears. It just looks like it's going to be such a touching film, and like it's so meaningful to whoever wrote it. It looks like it came straight from the heart. The world it's set in looks absolutely immaculate. The animation, top notch as always. I mean, it's Pixar. What did you expect? But I am mostly intrigued to go on this heartwarming journey with these characters. It looks funny, it looks like it's gonna bring the tears, it looks like there's a little bit of action and fantasy and other sort of sci-fi elements thrown in there, all of it coming together. It looks like it is going to be a fantastic time. Coming in at number 4 is A Quiet Place Part 2. Not gonna lie, when I heard that this movie was coming out, same thing as the last few reactions, I was like, but why? Okay, because it made money and it was superb, that's why. I was very hopeful that this was going to be a prequel. I just love seeing the beginning of apocalypses. I don't know what it is for me, but just seeing the downfall of humanity and the rise of whatever it is, whether it was robots or zombies or aliens, whatever these things are. And I was hoping that I was going to see this. Then I heard it was actually a sequel. Then we got the trailer, and I am so happy that it is a mixture of both. You're getting a bit of sequel, and you're getting a bit of prequel sort of backstory thrown in there. John Krasinski is back in the director's chair. He's rumored to be in the movie. I'm assuming those prequel sequences he will be in. His real-life wife, Emily Blunt, is back. Noah Jupe and Millicent Simmons are both back, as well as the baby. Now, we also got a few glimpses, and I didn't even realize till halfway through the trailer that was Cillian Murphy. And you also have Djimon Hounsou thrown in there. So to me, this movie seems like it's going to be sensational. Coming in at number 3 is Dune. I don't really have a lot to say about this one because as of the making of this video, we have nothing. Maybe a few set photos, a few character photos, no official trailer or teaser. I don't even think we have a poster. But what is driving my enthusiasm for this movie is who is behind the camera, and that is director Denis Villeneuve, and one of the best casts ever put to film, with the likes of Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Jason Momoa, Stellan Skarsgård, Zendaya, Oscar Isaacs, Dave Bautista, Josh Brolin, Javier Bardem, David Dastmalchian. The list goes on and on. And if you're not already amped, then don't even bother to see the movie when it comes out. That right there is enough for me to get my butt in the theater seat opening night. Coming in at number 2 is one that was completely unexpected to me until I saw that first trailer, and that is No Time to Die. I mean, who thought after Spectre and after Daniel Craig's, interesting comments, we would ever be seeing another Daniel Craig-led 007 movie, let alone one that looks like it could be the best yet. It looks like a beautiful blend between old school and new school Bond. I mean, clearly you have Daniel Craig and today's technology and capabilities for the new school, but it looks like it's mixing old school Bond by not being completely serious. I mean, you have the machine guns coming out of the front of the car again, you have these giant, just absolutely impossible stunts going on. It looks like it's going to be a best of Bond with Daniel Craig in the driver's seat. I never thought in a million years, after how many directors this movie went through and the will it won't it ever get made, that I would ever be looking forward to this, but the trailer washed away any doubt I had whatsoever. No Time to Die cannot come soon enough. And the number one pick for me, my most anticipated film of 2020, should come as no surprise to anyone, whether you know me or not, because even if you don't, it's probably your most anticipated, and that is Christopher Nolan's Tenet. I had no idea what this movie was about. I'd seen the trailer and I still don't know what this movie's about. I have my theories, I have my hunches, I have heard other people's, and really that just adds fuel to my fire in not being able to wait to see this movie. Again, Christopher Nolan behind the camera, same as Denis Villeneuve, automatically gets you excited. But then you also add in the cast. Robert Pattinson, John David Washington, Elizabeth Debicki, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Kenneth Branagh, Michael Caine. I mean, this list is almost as stacked as Dune. And then you see the trailer, and honestly, if you haven't seen the trailer, just go watch it now and then come back and tell me it's not your most anticipated of 2020, okay? It's impossible, you can't. It seemed like it was going to be a simple spy thriller, and then in typical Christopher Nolan fashion, he just absolutely turns your brain backwards, upside down, dices it up, puts it in the blender, puts it back together. It's just... That's all I can say. My mind was blown. My mind immediately started racing with theories and speculations. Christopher Nolan has never, more than one time, because there was that one time, disappointed me in my life. And I have faith that he is going to blow this out of the water, just like he has every other time, but that one time that we're not going to discuss. Tenet seems like it's going to be his next flawless masterpiece, and I am there for it. So folks, those are my top 10 most anticipated films of 2020. Let me know in the comments below. What are your most anticipated of 2020? Do you agree with my list? Is my list just trash and you now hate me? Whatever it is, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about my latest uploads. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.